The voice of sharing during ASEAN.
Hey, Arlene's here,
Hi, this is Gowri.
and you're listening to Durian ASEAN. We are at our ABC cult.
ABC Cult,
Uh,
actually, yes.
yeah, ABC cult. We are doing our play read for today, and it will be a book by Samuel Beckett. He wrote a play. I read that play. I think it was 2 years back when I got the book from someone, and I really enjoy it. At first, I thought like, why they are like talking to each other on a lot of things that is really existential in nature. But then the longer I read it until the end of the book, I felt that it has some meaning and depth towards
Yeah,
waiting for Godot, which they assume is their version of God.
and well, I studied it back when I was doing performing arts, and I guess when I first read it too, I was really surprised because I wasn't familiar with this kind of circular plot, and but towards the end of the book, it really kind of hits you that this story it looks so simple and kind of stupid in a way, but it has so many levels and so many different meanings and issues that you can that the writer is trying to broach in the play, and that it can even get disturbing.
It is. But before we really analyze, the play, I think we will start our play read.
Yeah, we're going to read something from Act 1. Where was I? How's your food?
Swelling visibly.
Ah, yes, the Two Thieves. Do you remember the story?
No.
Shall I tell it to you?
No.
It'll pass the time. See, two thieves crucified at the same time as our Savior.
Our what?
Our Savior. Two thieves. One is supposed to have been saved, and the other damned
Safe from what?
from hell.
I'm going.
And yet, how is it? This is not boring you, I hope. How is it that one of the four evangelists, only one speaks of a thief being saved? The four of them were there, or thereabouts, and only one speaks of a thief being saved. Come on, Gogo, let's return the ball, can't you? Once in a way.
I find this really most extraordinarily interesting.
1 out of 4 of the other 3. 2 don't mention any thieves at all, and the third day says both of them abused him.
What? Who?
What?
What's all this about? Abuse who?
The Savior.
Why?
Because he wouldn't save them.
From hell?
Imbecile. From death.
I thought you said hell.
From death. From death.
Well, what's of it?
Then the 2 of them must have been damned.
But one of the four. Sorry. And why not?
But one of the 4 says that one of the 2 was saved.
Well, they don't agree, and that's all that is for to it.
But all 4 were there, and only one speaks of a thief being saved. Why believe him rather than the others?
Who believes him?
Everybody. It's the only version they know.
People are bloody ignorant apes.
Pah! Puh.
Charming spot. Let's go.
We can't go.
Why not?
We're waiting for Godot.
Ah, you sure it was here?
What?
That we were to wait?
He said by the tree. Do you see any others?
What is it?
I don't know. A willow.
Where are the leaves?
It must be dead.
No more weeping.
Or perhaps it's just not the season.
Looks to me more like a bush.
A shrub.
A bush.
What are you insinuating? That we've come to the wrong place?
He should be here.
He didn't say for sure that he was gonna come.
And he doesn't come?
We'll come back tomorrow.
And then the day after tomorrow?
Possibly.
And so on?
The point is,
Until he comes.
you are merciless.
We came here yesterday.
No, there you're mistaken.
What did we do yesterday?
What did we do yesterday?
Yes.
Why, nothing is certain when you're about.
In my opinion, we were here.
You recognize the place?
I didn't say that.
Well,
That makes no difference.
all the same. That tree, that bog.
You sure it was this evening?
What?
That we were to wait?
He said Saturday, I think.
You think?
I must have made a note of it. Let me just search for it.
But what's Saturday? And is it Saturday? It's not rather Sunday? Or Monday? Or Friday?
It's not possible.
Or Thursday?
What will we do?
If he came here yesterday and we weren't here, you may be sure he won't come again today.
But you say we were here yesterday.
I may be mistake. Let's stop talking for a minute. Do you mind?
All right. Go. Go.
Hey, why will you never let me sleep?
I felt lonely.
I had a dream.
Oh, no, don't tell me.
I dreamed that
Don't tell me.
this one is enough for you. It's not nice of you, Didi. Who am I to tell you my private nightmares if I can't tell them to you?
Then just let them remain private. You know I can't bear that.
There are times where I wonder if it would be better for us to part.
You wouldn't go far.
That would be too bad. Really bad. Wouldn't it, Didi, be really too bad? When you think of the beauty of the way and the goodness of the wayfarer, wouldn't it, Didi?
Just calm yourself.
Calm. The English would say calm. You know the story of the Englishman in the brothel?
Yes.
Tell to me.
Stop it.
An Englishman, having drunk a little more than usual, proceeds to a brothel. The ball asks him if he wants a fair one, a dark one, or a red-haired one. Go on.
Stop it.
You want to speak to me? Didi? You have something to say?
I have nothing to say to you.
You are angry? Forgive me. Come, Didi. Give me your hand. Embrace me. Don't be stubborn.
It's for the
You
kidneys.
stink of garlic.
It's for the kidneys. What do we do now?
Wait,
Yes, but while we're waiting,
what about hanging ourselves?
it'll give us an erection.
An erection?
With all that follows, where it falls, mandrakes grow. That's why they shriek when you pull them up. Did you not know that?
Let's hang ourselves immediately.
From a bow. I wouldn't trust it.
We can always try.
Go ahead.
After you.
No. You first.
Why me?
You're lighter than I am.
Just so.
I don't understand.
Use your intelligence, can't you?
I remain in the dark.
This is how it is. The bow. Use your head, can't you?
You are my only hope.
Go. Light. Bought no break. Go dead. Didi heavy. Bought break. Didi alone. Where else?
I hadn't thought of that.
If it hangs, you will hang anything.
But am I heavier than you?
So you tell me. I don't know. There's an even chance, only.
Well, what do we do?
Don't do anything. It's safer.
Let's just wait and see what he says, okay?
So that's all our performance just now. Our
Dramatic reading.
Dramatic reading. So it's actually the part that we were doing our play reading. And play reading was two characters, Vladimir and Estrogan.
Hmm. And they are both apparently waiting for someone who is supposed to show up, and they just keep waiting, and there is no specific time, and they're not sure if they waited yesterday or the day before, and they probably keep waiting forever, and they don't know if this person who said that he's going to show up is actually going to show up for sure.
So in the meantime, to kill time waiting for Godot, they have a lot of, just rubbish discussion, I would say. Just talking about almost anything that comes to their mind and quarrel with each other, then, be nice to each other again.
And this really parallels our life, or at least this is the interpretation that we did back then. We're all here on this planet. It goes back to this whole existential crisis thing, where you're born into this world, and everyone keeps telling you that if you live a good life, you will, when you die, you go to heaven. If not, you're going to hell, and then you're just kind of waiting for that one day where you'll finally meet God and you'll be judged, and you'll get your verdict. And in the meantime, we're just here, doing. Some people are doing some achieving something. Some people are just leading a pointless life, just waiting for the day to come when you die.
One thing I like about the author Samuel Beckett is he's a very dark person. I mean, he's a real existentialist to the extent that he believed that life is just life. There's no meaning at all, and hence his play has no meaning. He just sort of like demonstrate how in our everyday lives we just say a lot of things that are really not important, but at the end of the day we are hoping for this Godot to come and just make our life better.
Yeah, and going back to what you said, life really has no meaning except for whatever meaning you give to it.
That's what, hence the senseless play, talking about senseless things.
And in performing arts, we would call this an absurd play, where there is no definite beginning, there is no ending, and the plot is kind of circular. It just it doesn't go from A to B to C. It just goes from A to B and B to A.
There's no climax, or there's no
exactly. And
there's no plot twist towards it as well. It's just senseless talking about the idea of waiting for Godot.
Yeah, and it can be a bit too serious or even too dry for some people. You need to really make an effort to finish the whole book. But when you do finish it, it really hits you with all these different questions about life. What am I really doing here? And what am I doing with my life? Is this something that I really want to do? Like, is this what I'm doing just because everyone else is doing? And is this just a pointless life where we're all just going to die in the end and nothing matters
actually,
anymore?
I'm glad that you point out about when you relate this to our daily lives, because if you look at our daily lives, some people complain a lot. For example, you complain about the traffic jam in the morning, say that, life is miserable, your boss is horrible, your life is just, a senseless cycle of, doing things for the sake of others. But at the end of the day, we always have this feeling that, it will get better because someone will help us, and that someone could be God, could be, the person that we are hoping to help us from, nowhere. We are living a senseless life, but at the same time we are hoping for a change, and the idea of hoping with just that do not make sense either. And I think that's where the waiting for Godot, the play itself, make really a real sense to me. And I think that, like, instead of like waiting for Godot, I think the best way forward is to just stop living a senseless life. If you don't like the traffic, complain about it. Join any political party, or participate in the civil society, or do a change that you think that will improve your lives. Make people accountable for things that you feel that is damaging to your life.
And also another line that is constantly repeated throughout the play is, but what does it all mean? It's repeated quite a number of times, and I guess that's also I don't know if a lot of people ask this question, but it is a very important question that I think people should start asking, because eventually it's about your life. Like, people always say it's not about the number of years that you have lived. It's about the quality of your life. So it doesn't matter if you live 100 years, but you've done nothing. You always take the safe road, and you just do your routine every day, and you don't take challenges. You don't have any breathtaking experiences or whatever. But some people do ask this question: what does it all mean? I remember I had an existential crisis back then when I just wanted to give up on everything and probably go sit on a mountaintop or something, because what's the point of going to school every day, getting a job, paying your bills, and in the end you just die, and all this doesn't even mean anything. You'll just be another person who has lived in the face of earth, and then you're just gone and gone back to dust.
Our life is actually insignificant. I mean, if you look in the largest picture of all, which means that if you look how Earth was, being, Earth was the way it is, and how how animals evolve throughout times, and at the same time, also how human evolve through times as well. You can see like there's so many humans that have existed before us. Although in history lessons we learn about people who were legends, people who did extraordinary things, who they are good people or bad people or evil people. But at the end of the day, majority of society, when they die, everything is just gone. Like your life is just, it's just, if I want to put it in a metaphoric understanding, your life is just a movie. When it ends, it ends.
And also, like what they mentioned earlier, that what do we do while we're waiting for this person? And he said, just killing time. And I hope that we are not here just to kill time. That everyone, all of us have a dream, but we never actually pursue it because we have fear of failure. It's not safe. It's too risky. We may lose certain important things to us, and we give up on that. But if you're not pursuing your dream, personally, I think then it's such a huge waste, because everyone here, everyone on Earth, everyone has a specific gift, a specific talent, a specific skill, something that is there for a reason. So if you're just going to ignore it and go for the safe route, like what would happen if, let's say, Michael Jackson decided, being a singer is too risky. I'm just gonna like, I don't know, do something safe. I'll probably just work in a company and hope I can pay my bills. Like, can you imagine how different this world would have been? Like, we will have none of those epic songs like Black or White or You Are Not Alone and all. And what if Steven Spielberg didn't want to make movies? So I think that every one of us should find that one thing that means a lot to us and really pursue it, because that is the only way to live a fulfilling life. When you really listen to your heart, find out what you want, and nourish that and follow your dreams.
And I think one element that I want to highlight is the idea of Godot, or I think in our context would be the idea of something bigger than us, which is God. I mean, I know like religious people would defend the idea of God by saying that, you never know there would be God, because God is larger than anything. It cannot be experimented via science. It cannot be sensed by all our senses here. So it is something that you just know intuitively. But at the same time, I think it's fine that you believe in the idea of God, but it's wrong when you put all your physical life, meaning that your life on earth, with the hope that you will meet God someday, or you will enter heaven someday. Because I think that the idea itself sort of like distract you away from all the things that you can actually make possible change. I heard people said before, like, oh, it's okay, like I live such a suffering life. At the end of the day, I know I will meet God. Or it's okay that I'm bombing myself for the sake of, protecting certain religious identity so that, at the end of the day, I will meet God. I think it's very dangerous for people to have that kind of assumption that they are doing this for God. I think they should do this for themselves.
Uh, I think that what you said makes sense because at the end of the day, we have to be responsible for ourselves. Like it's okay to it's if you want to believe in God, like that's totally fine. But you should know that God is just there to assist you. He's not really going to make every single decision for you or help you like every step along the way because there are too many people in this world. And I think God cannot just pay attention to like individual people.
If I believe if there is a God, I think He would be kind enough to step back and let you do your own thing. It's like, yeah, it's like your life. I'm not your mother or something. I think at the end of the day, if we were to wait for Godot to give us an answer that, oh, you cannot do this or this is what your direction of life should be, I don't think it's a fulfilling life. A fulfilling life is a decision that you make by yourself and you know that this is what you want out of what the life can give to you. And not about, what you assume what God wants you to do.
Well, and it goes back to the meaning of life where we just have to be I can't remember who said it. It was probably Frederick Nietzsche who said that the concept of yourself, there's you and it's just you. There's no one else that can influence you or what you do. Whatever decision you make, it has to be because you want to do it, and don't let it be influenced by outer any external sources. And yeah, like the concept of God is way beyond us. Like I don't like some people would say that God doesn't exist, and some people would say yes, God exists, but I don't think there's any way to know for sure. So the safest way is just to live your life according to just follow your heart and listen to your inner calling and just live a fulfilling life. And like you said, don't just say that, oh, one day I'm gonna meet God and everything's gonna be okay.
And
like you have to start making things okay now.
And when you say when we say that when we say to live a fulfilling life, meaning that to also live for the sake of other people as well. I mean, it's much more noble to help others and to ensure that the community within you are living a good life as well, rather than to just sit down and pray and just focus on the idea of meeting God one day. I think that's the problem with a lot of religious scholars that I find today. Like they would rather sit down, give a talk, bash someone that they don't like or other religion, like what happened recently in I think in Penang, if I'm not mistaken. There's this one religious scholar that bashed this Indian curry companies.
Oh right, I saw that video as well.
Yeah, and I thought that if you really care about society, regardless you are a religious leader or just an ordinary person, I think it's important for you to really go down to the grassroots and understand this society, and then give them a helping hand or whatever that you are able to do, rather than just sit there, give a talk, or just sitting on the praying mat, pray your hearts out, or go to the church every day, but you don't see the suffering of the homeless people on the street side. I think you putting priority in place is more important than just assuming that life is just about serving God.
So I think essentially the message that we're trying to get out there is, don't just wait for a miracle to happen. Don't wait for someone to just show up and fix your life. You are responsible of your own life.
And don't live your life senselessly.
Yeah. And yeah, make the most out of it. Make every decision wisely. Make sure you do what makes you happy, and just be responsible for your own happiness.
At the end of the day, Godot never came.
Well, we don't know that actually, if he actually shows up towards the end or not.
Okay. Anyway, that's all for today. We will continue our ABC call on our play read next week. So stay tuned.